Hello, everybody. It's Brian. Now, listen, today is a very, very special day because we are today celebrating the release of the game Homebody, created by the amazing Jory Griffis and co-written by our own Leighton Gray. The game is now available on a bunch of different platforms. I don't know which. I didn't write the game. Don't ask me. But it's available wherever you get video games. And I'm excited to play it myself, although I haven't yet, because it just came out the day I'm recording this, Thursday, June 1st. So what we have today is we have for our main feed episode, the discussion around our viewing of episode 5 of season 1 of The Sopranos, College. And if you want to hear the actual commentary, like the watch along commentary, you can go to our Patreon, patreon.com/Leighton Night. So everybody go get Homebody and enjoy this conversation we had with Jory before and after we watched The Sopranos. Jory, 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 Jory! All right, now retell this story, George.
Oh, this is gonna sound so organic.
Oh yeah,
much like what he's talking about.
So are you ever at a dinner with your friend and your friend is like, sorry, I'm just gonna be a little bit, I'm just gonna be out in the bathroom, and you try to think of the perfect thing to say, and sometimes I think the perfect thing to say would be, well, I guess I'm just going to go and fuck off.
Yeah.
We were talking about how I said that I was going to be late, and I didn't actually end up being late, for the record.
No,
but
not
Brian's immediate reply, which listeners might not be shocked to hear that this was Brian's immediate reply, was, well, I guess I'll just go fuck myself. And I specifically said that that exact phrase is something that I always have in my back pocket that I never pull out because I'm not brave or self-sure enough.
It's one of those things where there's a very specific and small group of people I can pull that out and who will know that I don't mean it. And all it takes is the wrong person on a group text to be like, what the fuck? And then, be mad forever. So it's a bit of it's not quite a Hail Mary. That's too strong a term, but I'm not going to throw that one out unless I know people are going to get it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do sometimes also use it as a bit with people who I know trust me, but
yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I would never consider saying that non-ironically. Personally. Is that what you guys were talking about? Saying it non-ironically?
Yeah, that's not what I was saying, but the idea of being the kind of person who unironically says that is super fucking funny to me.
Well, I guess I can just go. It's like that's some Real Housewives type verbiage, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah, it's like a character Dennis Leary would play.
Yes, 100%.
It's like, I'm going to exaggerate my grievance and escalate this situation immediately, which I think is very antithetical to all of our general existences.
I'm a big fucking martyr. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
Jory's victim complex is off the charts, dude.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I live with the ultimate victim who we were driving today, and Audrey went, Daddy, why is it we never have any food I like? And I was like, okay, let's talk about the food we have and how much you love it. Because just because we're out of honey mustard pretzels does not make you a victim of a
I think I would say the
childhood.
same thing if I ran out of honey mustard pretzels. Those shits are good.
She loves them. She loves
the little
them.
dusty little musty on there.
Yeah.
You were telling me about something very precocious and sweet that she said about the Supreme Court.
Me?
Yeah, didn't she say something to you like, Daddy, why does the Supreme Court put politics above justice?
Yeah. Well, what she did say.
RGB forever.
Yeah, that's right. She did say in her sleep, and she wasn't she wasn't mumbling, so I definitely heard her say this. She said, Merrick Garland was robbed.
She really said, did she say it like in that exact tone, like that kind of flat, authoritative tone?
Merrick Garland was robbed. And I woke her up and I was like, who's Merrick Garland? And she was like, what? I was having a Zelda dream. Well, that bit whiffed about as hard as any bit possibly could have.
Well, I really liked it, but I also it's a little erudite for me. I've just been swearing so far on this pod.
Jory, you famously, Jory, your poor education once again rears its ugly head.
Jesus Christ, what did I walk back into?
I did a bit and it fell like a wet potato in the middle of the floor. And I was like, wow, And look, I'm not saying it was good. I'm not saying it was good comedy, but it was something.
So full postmortem, I was confused by the Zelda part. I was like, wait, how does Zelda tie into it?
Oh, that was just a random thing I said.
It was kind of esoteric. I liked it. It's a funny idea, but
well, one of the Hinoxes is named Merrick Garland. If you look at the code.
I have to redirect this conversation because there's something that I desperately need to share with you all. Mm-hmm. So today I re-upped on weed as I do, and I always enjoy the conversation that I have with whatever delivery driver I get for my disgusting volume of legal drugs. And the person who brought me my weed today was full blue coordinated outfit with a blue snapback with leather dog ears on it. And I was like, cool fit. And, I bought my weed and I brought it upstairs and I was going through my various vapes and products. And there was a little receipt taped, like a custom printed receipt.
Yes.
And I think I just have to text you guys a picture of it. So you can read it and react in real time because I think it will be funnier.
Okay. I'm very excited right now.
Me too. And I taped this up next to my computer because I love it so much.
Oh, wait. Here it is. Wow. Okay. This is...
That rules.
Yeah, right?
This is... wow. Okay. Do you want to describe this, Leighton? You sent it.
Did she give you any vibe that she was furry?
Oh, no. I don't want to gender this person, but the hat with the dog ears should have tipped me off. Because it wasn't like a print of dog ears. It was like physical, actual big blue dog ears.
I don't know why, but I also straight up doctor is a woman gestalted the female pronouns in there.
I couldn't actually. I was leaning the other way on this one.
Oh, interesting.
Jory, yeah.
But will one of you describe the image that I sent?
Yeah, you know what? I'll take a crack at this. So there's in some nice chunky font up at the top of this little piece of paper, it says emotional support driver. And then there's, how would you describe this animal? You two who have better art knowledge than I do.
I'm assuming it's a dog based on the dog ears, and also that this is
looks like a dog.
A stereotype, not to stereotype the way that furry art looks, but it's a furry dog that's very happy.
I would say that there's like the 90s school of furry design that was kind of trending more Disney or Tex Avery, and this is much further along the axis towards anime.
Very Balto.
Yeah, the anime, the mouth shape and the muzzle is much more evocative of like an anime vibe.
Little Bluethy, maybe a little bit.
Mildly, yeah. I think Balto is a good reference for some parts of it, but
I mean, with the vor, I mean, there's like an implied vor element with the mouth being open. So I guess you could say it's Don Bluethy.
That I would not describe. I mean, vor is. I would not have picked that out of this, but sure, because
I'm just trying to make a Don Bluth joke because I love making Don Bluth vor jokes.
Okay, sure.
My favorite Don Bluth trope is whenever there's a procession of characters that are all the same design but a slightly different color. Like that one inexplicable animation of a bunch of chickens wandering into the Annihilation Orb together.
Oh, Jory, do you have a link to that video? Because that video is like my favorite.
I have never seen that.
I do not know how to find that off the top.
Well, I want to keep describing this piece of paper because while I do that, you can find the animation. It says how to give treats and then lists some Venmo, etceteras. And at the bottom it says, Much appreciated. I feel like it should have said munch appreciated.
For real. You're
At
so
the bottom.
correct.
Is true. Y'all, I found the video and I'm so happy because I genuinely
All right,
had a moment
send
of
it.
thinking I would never
Send it,
see this
please.
again. It's in the Zencaster, useless
Oh,
Zencaster
shit.
chat.
There it is.
The audience gets to hear us just laugh at this inexplicable thing.
Yeah. We can start at the same
Wow.
time. I think it's important.
This is so loud. Okay, here we go. Yes.
Deafeningly loud.
All right,
How do you
ready?
turn down the fucking volume? Just a second. Is there any option to just turn down the volume on this? Not that I
No.
see. Okay, yeah, let's just do it.
That's part of the experience. All right, ready?
Oh, I can't get it to start over. Hold on.
Refresh the
Yeah.
page.
Yes,
I think
I'm doing it.
And then you
Okay.
have to like speedily pause it.
All right,
I think
ready?
YouTube Shorts doesn't have a way to adjust the volume.
Okay,
The
here we go.
TikTokification of all social media is disgusting. Yeah, Brian
3,
Kennison.
2, 1, play. Pollo? Is that what it's saying?
Yeah.
Yes. This is so fucking dope.
So this is 1 billion times better than what I was anticipating.
Wait for it.
Wow.
It's so fucking funny.
Okay. I'm saving this, putting it in this text thread so I can get it later. And
My
Great.
abdominal muscles hurt so bad.
what did you search to find this?
Did you search
More-
Pollo Cacatrillo?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, you're goddamn right. I did, and you're so spot on. Where you could just caption that with like Annihilation 2019 or 2017, whatever. Oh my god.
All right, fine. I guess I'll just go fuck myself.
There we go. See? You did it. That was perfect.
Thanks, buddy. I really appreciate it. You've been
I
really
like-
supportive.
I try to be, Jory, because I want you to take more chances like that.
Thank you.
And then I want to be around when they backfire.
Oh, they will.
Yeah.
And I will not handle it well.
Do you know that Sinatra song, I Want to Be Around to Pick Up the Pieces? Do you know that one?
No, I don't think I
It's a-
do.
Great, fuck you ballad.
Okay.
And the lyrics are like, I want to be around to pick up the pieces when somebody breaks your heart.
Oh,
And
that's
it's-
fucking ice cold.
Yes. And the whole song is this guy, he's been wronged by a woman or heartbroken, I guess. You could argue who's right or wrong. And the whole song is just about how he wants to watch it happen to her. And it's great. It's a great song. But it's also, you don't hear many of those go fuck yourself ballads.
Yeah,
anymore.
I think even Old Blue Eyes was like usually a little more of a stiff upper lip. It seems like
Yeah.
kind of trying to be a
That's right.
respectable. So
Speaking of which, have you guys seen the roast of Frank Sinatra where Peter Falk does it in character as Columbo?
No.
Okay, this is. Hold on.
I was
Let me find
watching
this.
like a Don Rickles compilation the other day,
Oh.
which was really enjoyable. Very racist, but aside from all of the racism.
Columbo roast. So, by the one thing I've been meaning to talk about the show is apparently there were a couple of TV specials called "The Funniest Joke I Ever Heard," and it's a bunch of like late '70s celebrities telling street jokes, and it's unbelievably great.
Okay,
Here,
sounds cool.
hold on.
From the LA Police Force Homicide Division, Lieutenant Columbo.
It's kind of a magic trick just to see him in that costume. Like,
I know.
it looks like he just came through the screen from Last Action Hero.
All right, so he's in the audience. He's walking up, fully in character. He's got a big stack of papers or something.
I love that wallpaper.
The whole
Passing.
mustard.
Passing everybody. Look who he just passed Don Rickles. In fact,
Wow.
Was that Orson Welles at the front of the line?
it might. Yes,
That you remembered me after all these years.
that's Gene Kelly.
this is, I'm flabbergasted. I mean, I'm just flabbergasted. I thought that the album came out good. You know, I liked the picture. And, the raincoat never looked better.
Tom DeLuise. Anyway, okay, this goes on for a while, but it is really worth watching.
I will save it as
so-
a little treat for later.
It's
so
so
high
great.
concept.
And
So
the thing is, he's not really telling jokes either. He's just up there talking as Columbo for 10 minutes.
Wait, and is the premise just that the most recent fucking Sinatra record had Sinatra wearing a raincoat on the front?
Maybe. I mean, possibly. I have no idea.
I mean, if
funny.
anyone's in the position to roast other people's coats, it's Peter Falk as Columbo, who wins all coathood, all coatdom, the coterie of coats.
Nice.
Listen, what a great, like, I love that he would do it. I love that they asked him to do it and that everybody is just playing along with it. I'm sure everybody on that stage is drunk because it's a Friars Club roast in 1978, but it's great. And I will watch Dom DeLuise do literally anything. Everything the guy does is magic. It's incredible.
I really appreciate your ability to recognize a bunch of really old people, Brian. I think that's what turning 48 has done for you.
Yeah. Well, what do I want to say? I recognize my own kind, right?
I was trying to articulate the sincere thought. Was what Leighton just said really mean?
I always assume it is, and then we just move on.
You should. Jory, I noticed when we recorded the other day, I really like the way that you turn on me when we record this shit. It's like every time outside of us recording, like it's you and I mutually doing the dance of apologizing for shit that we know that we don't need to apologize for and adding a billion caveats. And you've never been anything but a complete and absolute gentleman. And then you come at me with this energy.
We're on mic.
It's pretty great.
We're on mic.
I'm sorry, Leighton.
No, I'm never gonna forgive you. Jory, I just also want to say that I opened up a perfect opportunity for you to knock it out of the park with I guess I'll just go fuck myself then, but
Oh, I said one while you were gone earlier.
Yeah, he did.
Damn it.
Sorry.
I guess I'll just go fuck myself then.
There it is.
Yeah!
I was just about to say that's your shot. Take it.
Any mention of a roast, I feel like I'd be remiss not to mention the Norm Macdonald roast of Bob Saget.
Right.
Where my favorite joke from it is Norm Macdonald seems to have brought the jokes that he found in some kind of like old like milquetoast joke book. Mm-hmm. And my favorite one is his face is as beautiful as a flower. Yeah, a cauliflower.
That's
so
fantastic. Yeah, by the way, speaking of that era of person, this week on Good One, they had Dana Carvey and Kevin Nealon and Robert Smigel discussing the never made Hans and Franz movie.
Oh my God. The one thing that I've heard from that movie that's just like so crushingly funny is that it opens up with like shots of New York where you're going through like Chinatown and Little Italy.
Yeah.
And then you turn the corner into like Little Switzerland.
Little
or
Austria. Little Austria.
Little Austria.
Yes.
And it's like rolling green Sound of Music hills in the middle of New York City.
It sounds very funny.
This sounds amazing. I need to listen to this.
So apparently they talked about it on the Conan podcast, and then they came on Good One to talk about it some more. And those guys, like, that's like an era of SNL cast that I always love and always will. But just the joy with which they discuss this film, and how the various things and how jokes, and it was just great. It was great to hear them having such a great time. One thing I learned is apparently Kevin Nealon went through a phase where he only drank like protein shakes, and that was his big thing.
This raises a thing that has always bothered me. Why there are so many people who don't like water and refuse to drink water and will drink anything other than water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I think maybe part of it is some people are just raised where it's like you can constantly get it, or other people have parents where it's like, no, you have one soda a week, which somewhere in the middle there, it wasn't as draconian, but like,
Yeah.
I despite me drinking a naked juice or a cherry Coke on most episodes of this show, that is essentially my only consumption of non-water and non-coffee beverage.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, what, on a hot summer day, you're going to go for a sody pop and not like a ice cold glass of water?
It's weird. I agree. I don't get
I
it.
think you're right that it is something about leaving the nest, not having a parental figure there to wag their finger and say no, so you indulge in like all the dumbest shit that you couldn't have when you were a child.
I assume some things are like that are like super taster related, right? Some
Like John Lee Super Taster from the They Might Be Giants album. No.
Correct. Correct,
Wow.
Jory. But some people, you know, I had a couple friends in high school who would not eat greens ever, and they just couldn't take the taste. And I was like, how do you survive as a human without eating vegetables? But they managed. I mean, we were 17 at the time, so that probably had something to do with it. But some people just can't, you know. I don't know what the fucking problem with the water. The taste profile of water is flat. There's nothing there.
Well, maybe this particularly strikes me because of my hatred of seltzer. Because I just like some straight up, and I drink straight LA tap water. It's bad. It's very hard.
Well, it's probably because you were rubbing it.
Hold on. What was the joke there?
Yeah, will you explain why that's funny?
Yes. You see, when two people like each other very much, they enter into a physical relationship where one repeatedly pats and rubs the other's sternum, causing it to stiffen.
That sounds like a medical issue. I forget the name of it. I had that once. There's like a little bit of cartilage that's in your sternum that can get inflamed when you're really, really stressed out. And I thought that I was going to have a heart attack and die.
Yeah. Yeah, it's called sternumitis.
Yeah, and then I went to the doctor and they were like, if you were having heart problems, you would not feel it on the surface of your bone.
That's a good point. Although
it's like, well, I'm sorry, I have anxiety.
You know what? Here's the fucking thing about that. There are definitely people who would, right? Like that kind of shit manifests in wildly different ways for different people.
Brian, why are you telling us this?
I'm saying any symptom you have could be a heart attack. Anything.
You know what? This conversation really reminds me of this awesome, underrated horror video game where a lot of the content is kind of like extrapolated around the horror of having anxiety and the way that you hyperfixate on certain intrusive thoughts. I can't remember the name of it, but it's really good.
You're thinking of
Mario v. Rabbids Kingdom Battle.
Audrey really got to you, huh, Brian?
I don't know. It's just the first one I thought of. By the way, here's a really effective way I found to irritate her recently is to keep talking about how excited I am for Tears of the Kingdom. And when Tears of the Kingdom comes out, I'm going to play Tears of the Kingdom. Daddy! No. It's Tears. What?
That's so dope.
Before I move on to my cute recent Audrey anecdote, I do want to say that the underrated horror game that I was talking about is Slender. No, just kidding. It's Homebody, which comes out soon, and that's why we have this big streak of Jory being on here. And I'm gonna bombard you fucks affectionate.
I was gonna get so sweaty as I tried to engineer our way back to Homebody after you set that up, and I whiffed it.
No, it's fine. I brought it back, and now I'm changing the subject again to Brian's daughter, who I was in a car with recently, and she started asking me. I just thought this was like a very fun line of questioning. That how did this come up? I'm talking about the candy thing.
Oh, how did that come up?
Anyway, but Audrey was doing like a this or that like tier list for candy with me of being like Sour Patch or Skittles, and then Sour Patch or Twix, and then I took umbrage with that because I find gummy candy and chocolate candy to be in two entirely different, like incomparable realms. Anyway, so I flipped that on her and was asking her, and none of the people in the group that we were with had a 100 grand bar.
Yeah, I've never had one.
That's kind of shocking to me.
Is 100 grand? Wait, I could be totally wrong. So it's possible I also haven't had 100 grand. Is 100 grand like a payday with chocolate on it?
It's like a crunch bar on the outside, and it's filled with like very thick caramel.
Oh,
Yeah,
that sounds great.
Dead motherfucking wrong about what 100 grand is.
I can
They're
picture
really good.
I can picture the packaging. I've just never had one.
It's red,
Yeah, same.
yellow,
Yeah.
white text. They're very,
Yes.
very good. They were my favorite to get on Halloween as a kid,
Wow.
along with the unmarked suspicious candy that everybody hates.
I liked, and I still like, sugar daddies, like the caramel pop. Oh,
I do like sugar daddies.
those were
Did
my
you
favorite.
ever have BB Bats?
No, I've never even heard of that.
Google BB Bats because I think they have some of the best packaging of all time.
B, like letter B, bats.
Yeah.
I sincerely think that the 90s has like the worst candy. Like when I think about the stuff that came out when I was a child and seemed like hot and new, like
What
the
the
caramel
fuck is
apple pop.
this?
Are you looking at the BB Bats?
I am. This is.
They
Is this
were my favorite. There's this place called Islands right outside of Wilmington, and it was one of those like old timey country kind of stores, and they had all the weird candy, and they just had a huge vat of every single flavor of BB Bats, and you
That's
just
the
get like a
stuff.
fistful of them, and you would just gnaw it off that little stick.
That's awesome. Should we watch? The
What? Hold
Sopranos?
on.
Oh,
hold on.
sorry.
What,
Fucking sorry.
what shitty 90s candy are you thinking of, Jory?
This is the one I just said that I was so rudely stepped on, and I'll just go fuck myself.
Did you go to the extent of just typing fuck in our text chat?
The caramel apple pop, the like green apple.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
Lollipop covered in the worst caramel you've ever had. Like
That
I remember
Ike's-
it being like delicious, and it is like trash. It's horrible garbage. It's rotten garbage. It isn't food.
They give it to you with Ike's sandwiches, right? That's the most recent time that I've had them, when we were in the office and getting Ike's wet sandwiches delivered.
Yeah, more like Ike's hating sandwiches.
They're really bad. I'm gonna take a firm stance here.
Yeah, it
Too
sucks.
wet.
I could not agree more. It's awful. Just bad.
And it feels like a wasted opportunity because you can tell that before the bread got horribly soggy that it's probably like really good bread.
No, but this is the thing I don't like about it. I hate the bread.
What?
I hate
Why?
the crunchy bullshit bread. Stop putting shit on my bread. I want a fucking normal roll. Put
It
the
is
sandwich
weirdly
on
like
that.
it's like a, what's it called? Like a concha, where it's like a spongy cake with like the sugary crust on the outside.
Yeah, exactly. It's that crust that I'm talking about. It's I don't want any of that stuff. I want a normal white or wheat roll. That's it. And I understand different people like different things. However, those different people can go fuck themselves because this bread is bad and no one should have crunchy shit on a roll. What are we doing?
Yeah. Hold on though. I already see where your argument's going to go after this statement. So like, why fucking bother? So never mind.
Okay, here, do both sides.
I was gonna say yeah, but what about like an Italian sandwich where it's like the really, really hard bread and there's like prosciutto and butter and like a little bit of hard sea salt in there, and then the Brian in my head was like, yeah, but that's an entirely different thing. I'm talking about the crunch. I'm not talking about the really.
That's not what I would have said. I would have said.
I'm
the
also
stuff you were
sorry that I
talking
made you
about,
sound like Brent.
The stuff. Yeah, well, you definitely did. The stuff you're talking about is on the inside, right? I'm talking about extra stuff on the outside.
How is
That's
that
my issue.
not the same fucking argument that I just made for you?
Well, you said it's an entirely different thing, but I'm saying it's a specific different thing.
God, you're so fucking pedantic, Brian.
Technically, that's not what pedantic means.
Am I just being mean tonight?
Boom.
I've been in a terrible mood all day. Am I just taking it out on people I love?
I mean, I appreciate the spirit in which it is given, and it's impossible to upset me until you upset me, at which point I cut off all contact without notice.
I can't describe the emotional impact of the image that Jory just sent to the text chat as this interaction has happened.
It's a nice private visual bit for a podcast.
It is. It's a good image of a young Jim Halpert.
The actor Jim Halpert
making the exact face that you think he's making.
Yeah.
just a young Joey Gorp.
You know, we should do,
Joey
someone should deep fake this into scary Bilbo when he reaches for the ring.
That's a funny idea. I like that.
Yeah, I think that generally describes my feelings towards one John Krasinski over the years.
Johnny K.
Johnny K.
Different
than the other.
I was going to say he went from Ren and Stimpy to The Office. And,
oh, God. Let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Let's watch Sopranos.
Hold on. I had a perfect segue set up, and then we kind of moved
great.
on because Jory dropped just an absolute comedy A-bomb on us. But I was going to say, in the spirit of taking out your repressed anger on people that you love, let's watch an iconic episode of David Chase's iconic TV series, The Sopranos.
Great.
All right, so I'm mute myself as I thunderously type The Sopranos into the HBO Max.
Oh, no,
bar.
don't mute yourself. This is my favorite part of every show. Don't mute it.
He's in.
How did you know I was in?
I know how long it takes to open HBO Max and be confronted with a billion things you don't care about and are never going to watch, and then you can't find the 2 shows that you actually do watch on HBO Max. All right.
So I'm at 0-0 on this episode.
Okay. Also, I feel like, in the previous episodes, you said that you don't remember any of them, which is awesome.
Yeah, not really. I mean, it'll come back to me, but not really.
But I've been hyping up to this episode, which is arguably the episode of TV that changed the way prestige TV has been made for the past 20 years. And we'll talk about it after we watch it. But it's just, this is a good one, folks.
Yeah. I only kind of remember the previous episodes, but if I remember correctly, in the last one, Tony had to, Quill needed to get his vapor condenser back, so Tony went to the Sandcrawler and fought the Jawas to get it back. Is that what happened?
Yes,
that's exactly
right.
what happened, yeah.
You got it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so here is the point in the episode where if you want to watch along The Sopranos with us and listen to us talk about it, you go to our Patreon, patreon.com/Late Night, and you can see the whole thing. But if you don't, then just enjoy the rest of the episode. Here's our commentary after. And here's a crucial thing. Here's where we're coming in with this. I'm about to describe New Jersey's very own Route 22. All right. As promised, here's my description of Route 22.
Oh, fuck.
So Route 22.
Clayton, I'm excited to hear the description of Route 22.
Your voice cracking suggests otherwise.
No. I'm going to tell you about it, and you're going to be like,
I'm just cute,
what the
that's
fuck?
all.
Here, no, this is important. This is good Jersey content. So Route 22 sucks because here's the deal. So it is a route that goes both directions, but the way that it's structured is there's
that was real, by the way.
A bit island in the middle of it. So there's stores on either side of the highway, but also there's a middle part where there are more stores, which separates the 2 directions. Mm-hmm. And so what you have is cars can pull off in any direction from any lane. It's 2 lanes in both directions to go to any of the stores, right? So there's always traffic because people are constantly, you can turn left or right from either direction.
Here's what I got. Any lane is in my Sears and in my Ralph's.
That's very good. Ralph's is not a New Jersey chain.
I know.
You want to throw in a Pathmark. You want to throw in an Acme, right? Maybe even a Grand Union.
I need one syllable.
Let's see. What do I got for you? Ben Franklin. There we go.
Oh, is Ben Franklin? There was a Ben Franklin in the town I went to college in.
That's where I used to buy all my Transformers growing up.
That rips. Ben Franklin is awesome.
There's also a PC Richard store that is shaped like a boat. If you Google PC Richard boat, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Do you get, though, how PC Richard wouldn't have fit the meter of the song I was doing?
I wasn't listening. All right. Now you guys can talk about whatever you want.
Actually, yeah, the Route 22, that does sound like a nightmare.
It's awful. It's the worst road in New Jersey.
Yeah, that sounds horrible.
Now
I hate even just like, give me any boulevard and I feel like danger. Like I really, really don't like any kind of like divider like that. So
I do want to tell you one other thing, which has nothing to do with The Sopranos, but which I started texting people this today. So I was communicating with your friend and mine, Jim Roach.
Oh.
And Doctor Who came up.
Yikes.
And Jim said, I mentioned it apropos of something which I will not mention. He said, "What is that?"
I just got to Jim Halpert. Sorry.
And I was like, "Excuse me?" And he goes, "Who's Doctor Who? I don't know what this is."
Huh?
That was I was like, "You're fucking with me, right?"
Yeah, that's
He's
like who's
"No."
on first.
Yeah. He was like, "No, I've literally never heard of this. What is this?" He has never heard of Doctor Who.
Jim
Now, I
Roach
can
is an
understand-
enigma.
I can understand not being familiar with it. I can even understand people who think it's about a character named Doctor Who. I can't understand someone who's never heard of Doctor Who.
That's really bizarre.
Right? And maybe it's because he had friends, but it's like...
Huh.
Maybe I shouldn't laugh so heartily at that one.
In
This was me in
contrast
high
to
school.
my own personal high school experience.
No, me too. That's why I laugh.
But yeah, I was like, how could you never have heard of... Anyway, it was a moment. I texted Rachel immediately. I was like, Jim Roach has never heard of Doctor Who. And she was like, what? You know, it was really a moment we had today. All right, let's talk about this episode.
All right, thoughts.
It's good.
This is, I'm like in it now. I was a little like not really invested in the previous episodes. This feels like a different thing than the previous four. Not that I remember them well, but this was captivating to me in a way the other ones were not.
It really figures it out with this episode, I think.
I thought the acting was great. I love the father-daughter stuff. I'm a sucker for that stuff. Yeah, I mean, honestly, wouldn't change a thing. I thought it was definitely the best one we've seen so far. And I feel like I can remember what's happening. And I don't know this for a fact. It feels like there was just an A and a B plot here. No C stuff, really.
Yeah.
And it seems like the other episodes had more stuff going on.
You weren't spending as much time thinking about what AJ was up to as I was, my friend.
Yes.
Well, I don't know. It's like college and then Febby Petrulio and then Carmela and then AJ, which I should have said first.
But okay, that's fair. Although I was putting the
right,
college and the Febby Petrulio in the same story.
Also, what a great name, Febby Petrulio.
Febby? That's his name?
Wasn't that what they were calling him?
Wasn't it Fabian?
Yeah, they all got weird nicknames.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look. I'm going to look up the character's name on IMDb. Episode Guide, Season 1, Episode 5. Let's look. 8.9 on IMDb. That's a good rating. It just says, that's a cop out. It says Fred Peters. But that actor's name is Tony Ray Rossi, which is fucking awesome.
That is really great.
I really love how, like, obviously it's the big influential one, but I just really like how brutal that murder scene is. The choice to make it, especially with the guy having a gun with a silencer, for it to be this very like brutal from behind with a wire that's cutting into Tony's hands. I think like the brutality of it is such a like very specific choice.
Yeah.
And
he does like the listen to you hot, like plead that our protagonist ignores is so brutal.
Yeah, especially after seeing the like, you know, child at his house the other night. The ADR child.
Did you know that Jamie Lynn Sigler married someone named AJ?
That's fucked up.
No.
Her first husband's name was AJ Descala.
She's great. I one of the behind the scenes that I really like, well, not that
and he was her manager. Sorry, keep going.
That I like is that Jamie Lynn Sigler and Robert Eiler have talked a lot about how like actually dad-like James Gandolfini was to them.
Good.
And that like
boy.
He would always make sure that like they felt good about the takes if they wanted to do another one. Like he was really helpful with acting and was just supportive and genuinely was like a father, to the point that Robert Eiler to this day, I think, has not watched The Sopranos because it's like too painful.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it's that way with like a couple of people, actually. I forget which ones specifically, but there are a bunch of Sopranos cast members who are like, I can't watch it, or I've never watched it.
God, that's awful.
Because they're so bummed about Gandolfini.
Yeah, I mean, he sounds like a mensch. Like he was paying off crew members' mortgages. Like,
was he really?
Yeah,
that rules.
That's wild.
Just was like a very quiet, didn't want to do interviews and just yeah. Man, it's very touching to hear the cast talk about him.
That's
it's
awesome.
Like you hope that when you die, that's the way that you would be remembered. As having big say that, bear-like paws.
It's such a drag that Michael Gandolfini probably went through so much hell to make The Many Saints of New York.
Oh fuck!
Like the movie is just such a bummer.
Yeah, it really is. Well, you don't like the part where this baby Christopher is crying when Tony holds him?
Well, you're telling me you want to be the high school quarterback and die smoking cigarettes? Oh!
There's in listening to Pod Yourself a Gun, I was listening to like one of the final seasons of season 6B that has the scene where Tony is in therapy, like very tearfully talking about Dickie Moltisanti. And they were talking about how they really wish they hadn't just watched The Many Saints of Newark so they could take that like one of the series' best scenes and not have it ruined by fucking that movie.
Oh yeah.
Where it's like they barely interact. It really does not do it like totally colors the Tony Christopher relationship in a different way when that movie is like supposed to be about who made Tony Soprano, and through the whole series it's like a big deal that Dickie Moltisanti was like the true father figure to Tony, and that like that's what he's being for Christopher, but like also in the same incredibly toxic way that Dickie Moltisanti was whatever.
And the movie does none of that shit.
Yeah. And then there's like a dumb ass like plot point reveal at the end that like retroactively is like,
it was all a dream.
Yeah, there are a lot of dreams in the show.
I'm just as I said, I've not watched this series before. I just hope, I pray, it doesn't end suddenly and mysteriously.
You're in luck.
Leighton, do you want to tell him?
Jory, that may be the most comedy bang bang, and specifically Scott Aukerman thing you've ever done.
I feel good about that. Thanks, Brian.
Heightened cliche delivery.
I feel like I've been doing that this entire fucking episode.
I feel like that's every time all three of us are on an episode together. Like that's generally the thing, because that's what makes me laugh.
What are your favorite cliches like that?
I mean, that might be one of my favorites.
I do like that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of what?
I really like and I might just be thinking this because it turns out this whole time I've been talking about being sweating, I'm actually just like wearing a thermal Henley, and I'm just actually really hot at my desk. But the like
colorful.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a pretty good one.
Yep. Record scratch.
I think something, this is like less a cliche and just a general like comedy thing, but saying there's no way that somebody's gonna do that, or like this is gonna go great, and then smash cut to opposite. It like is never not funny to me, even if it's really hacky.
Yep. As I believe we've talked about, to me, the funniest thing that can happen anywhere is someone getting tackled by somebody coming from off screen. More like horizontally.
Yeah,
this happens. It happens in a bunch of things. The one that stands out to me is Old School, where a guy is running along the ground and someone just comes in off screen.
Virtually any Adam Sandler movie.
Correct.
Arrested Development, there's a bunch of them.
Yeah, it's so funny to me.
This one I'm kind of taking off of what Leighton said, but it's like a character is like there is no way you will ever talk me into this. And then a hard cut to them being like,
Yep,
I can't believe I let you talk me into this.
Yep. Yeah.
Yes. I like those. Oh, related to The Sopranos, did you each have a favorite scene from that episode?
Well, I was actually going to say that one of my least favorite cliches is that hack trite premise that there's like something that represents like a spirit of innocence and like kind of like a lost sense of like youthful purpose that a character is like pining for. One, I mean, we saw Orson Welles earlier, and I'm thinking about that dumb fucking sled from that shitty movie he made, but also those stupid ducks from The Sopranos.
You know, I also like, it's like showing the deer before he kills him is the touch too far for me on it.
There's a couple touches too far at the end of this ep, but I don't really care that much.
Yeah.
Did you hear about the porn that Orson Welles made?
What?
I simultaneously feel like I have, but also like this is a setup.
It's not a setup. He famously made like a weird softcore porn movie. When his career was in the nadir in the like.
Where
the
he's
60s.
trying to find the rosebud.
Yeah, it's called Citizen Kame.
Okay.
That's all. Move on.
Brian, I underestimated you. That was pretty good.
Thanks.
It was such a genuine thanks. What was I going to say? But Jory, as you and I have not only discussed extensively, but also extensively written into a video game that also has this symbology, deers, does.
Coming soon. It's called Homebody. It's available on PC, on Steam, and EGS, and it's on Nintendo Switch, Xbox One, Xbox Series S, Xbox Series X, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5.
Is it on the Casio Loopy? Also mentioned in Homebody.
What was my favorite scene?
Whoa, wait, hold on. Let's get to a point.
No, I already made my point. Just that Homebody's cool, and I did a drawing of a deer that is in the game. And I also did a little 3D model of a deer that Jory actually made look good. But I'm really proud.
That's not true. It looked great.
I'm excited to see it. I like the morning after Carm and the priest scene. I think that's my standout from this.
Yeah, she was extraordinary in that scene. Jesus Christ.
The whole episode. I want to say that she maybe got nominated for an Emmy for that episode. I could be wrong.
Yeah, the scenes with them are just a play.
It is. They really are. And she is so naturalistic in them. Like nothing she's doing, and she's going through a lot of stuff, right? There's a lot of emotion happening, but nothing feels forced or weird. And that is really, really hard to do. I mean, it's very impressive. Like I often think, I don't know jack shit about acting, but imagine being able to do that when 30 people are watching you and you're on a set or whatever. Like it's just, how do you do it? It is a skill I will never, ever have.
A thing that really grinds my gears, and not like I put all that much stock into, people's discussion of shows online, because I generally try to just watch shit that isn't current so I can avoid that. But you're never going to guess, but Sopranos fans are extremely sexist and think that Carmela is a worse person than Tony.
Oh, right.
Leighton, somehow I have actually missed that discourse, and it's so fucking funny.
Really?
Wait. And the argument is not because she lets Tony, she like puts up with the Tony stuff. It's because
she's a hypocrite and she's annoying and she's pretentious and she looks down on other people.
At least she's no fucking Skylar White, the ultimate buzzkill.
Boy.
Or that awful Betty Draper.
Man, I feel bad for that type of person for a variety of reasons, but maybe chief amongst them, and maybe my priorities are a bit skewed. It's like, you're missing the best character on the show.
Yeah.
Skylar is like the best part of Breaking Bad for me. That's not true, but she's up there. I think she's great. And I think I've said this before, you see a lot of like what they got really excited to do with Better Call Saul. Like you can see seeds of it in Skylar's arc.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah. No, I do think some of the...
I definitely think Kim Wexler is a better character than Skylar White, though, by leaps and bounds.
For sure. Yeah.
Interesting that, yeah, it's just, it's funny how you just have to compare two women like that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, do you dislike one because she's a house?
Because
she's a housewife and Kim Wexler like has a career and shit.
What is that? Why I dislike Skylar White? Was that the question? No, I dislike her because she's a woman.
And she's always harshing on Walt's vibe, trying to be a cool guy.
He's just trying to put food on the table. He's doing it for his family. At the end, he jokes around and says, "I did it for me," but that's a lie. We all know it. He's just doing it for his family.
Guy.
He's fucking Look, you may disagree with his methods, but you have to admit he's fucking got it. Right? He's cool as hell.
This is like, I'm not going to give any spoilers for Succession, a show that I know neither of you watch, but it's funny watching people talk about that show because it's the same sort of phenomenon, where everybody fucking hates Shiv, gee, I wonder why, and then also that people are like, yeah, I think Kendall like did a really good job on this presentation and like truly knocked it out of the park, and I think it's like a dumb move for them to be trying to do this bear hug situation. Like I like commenting on the business decisions that are made in Succession, a show where it's so like funny. The character drama around this shit that's like, who cares? It's like the petty power struggles are the least interesting part of the show.
I actually think solid as a rock is a really great slogan for the new real estate. And I think that Job actually should get more credit.
Oh, Jory. That one speaks to my heart.
The great thing about Citizen Kane is that before that porno came out, pornos actually... they never had a ceiling on their sets. And so that kind of innovation led to a lot of new possibilities with the cinematographies in pornos.
Yes.
Hearing Jory say pornos is incredibly funny.
It really is. I'm a big fan.
Some pornos for Jornos. I'm sorry.
I think that's a good place to call it here.
Am I to call it. This has been
this was great. Let's do this. Let's not wait a literal year before the next one of these.
Did we wait a literal year?
No, it was like 6 months.
Well, see, the thing
the Saul one was in the middle there too.
Oh yes, of course it was.
The thing is that due to the upcoming release of Homebody, a video game that exists and is cool and good and scary and fun, I would like to just inundate the audience with Jory as much as possible because that's really just what I want to do with this show anyway.
Shucks.
But we should do more of these. And if you want to come on after Homebody is out so we can do a post-mortem where we just feed incorrect things to game theorists, I think that would be really funny.
By the way, I am not opposed to making every episode in May a Jory episode. But
I actually would kind of fucking love that.
I have serious concerns about being overexposed.
Here's the name. May is a theme month. It's called May Jory T Rule.
Okay.
And every episode is Jory.
Well, no, I was literally laying in bed last night, like having anxiety about the shit that we recorded yesterday, where it's like, are people going to like get mad about Homebody and then search us out talking about it? And then it's just both of us being like, space exploration is dumb. Which is also shit we wrote into the game with the asshole character being the mouthpiece for it.
That is literally true, Leighton. I forgot about that. Listen, I think Ratatouille is a really fun and charming movie. I have no argument against Ratatouille whatsoever.
I think Ratatouille is my favorite noun to verb.
like doing a Ratatouille.
Like getting Ratatouille.
Yep. I was about to say it. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to this. Once again, this is a Brian Weck production. And we will talk to you.
I want to guess that Jory and I both made that Jory and I both made the exact same face when you said this is a Brian Weck production.
I got a GIF of it I could show you if you want to see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for you to text us another GIF, and then we will end the episode.
That the audience will not see, and I'm fine with keeping it that way.
They might.
I want to mention though that actually there's also I think that the noun to verb to noun of calling a rat who controls someone a ratatouille is also really funny, like in that Key and Peele sketch.
Are you texting us a GIF, Jory?
I'm seeing the thumbnail.
Oh no, I thought Leighton was texting a GIF. Oh fuck.
Shit. I thought you were gonna text. Anyway, it's the whatever. All right, see you next time.
Wait, hold on. Everyone chill out for a second.
All right. Go watch Pollo Cocodrillo. It's very good.
Did this really not come through yet?
No, it did. I see it. I'm just not reacting to it because
there it is. Great, Jory.
Oh wait,
that's
shit.
how this
now.
podcast makes me feel.
Let's fucking get out of here. Goodbye.
Wait, we're not gonna explain the bit.
Jory. Late Night is produced by Brian Wecht, Leighton Gray, and Jarek Centeno. Follow us on Twitter at Leighton Night, on Instagram at Leighton_Night, or email us at LeightonNight@gmail.com.